Dear student, welcome to the course Computational Fluid Dynamics and the course code is BTME 3053. Now we are in the unit number 4. In the first we have seen the introduction and some fundamental equations, Navier equation. Then unit 2 we have seen the nature of the partial differential equation, that when we are applying the fundamental equations to the or fluid transport or heat transport phenomena. Then we move to the unit 3 where we have seen that the different discretization technique, that to discretize the continuous space into in discretized space. There are different techniques we have seen. One was the mesh method, another was the mesh free method, and in the mesh method I have covered the three techniques, that is finite element method, finite difference method, and finite volume method. Now we are in the unit 4. Here we will see what are the grid techniques, grid techniques that through which the grid is generated, and what are the modern developments till now in the grid generation process, because generating the grid is very important to the solution for the CFD problems. Because if the grids or mesh is very finer, okay, then there is also we are not getting the better solution, and if it is very rare, means very thick, then we also don't have the better solution. So we have to find some certain aspect ratio in which our grid should be generated, that we have the solution that is close approximate to the real solutions. So we will see the techniques and methods that are used in the grid generation, and then we see that what are the advancement that has been adopted in this field to refine and the sizes of the mesh, and what are the different techniques. So let's recap the lecture. So in the previous lecture, I have discussed about the discretization technique, okay, and in which there was two important technique, FEM and FDM, that is finite element method and finite difference method, that we have covered in the thoroughly, and we have also seen the differences between the FEM and FDM. In the FDM, we have seen the three differences: forward, backward, and central difference, and we have seen that how one are better to the another when we are neglecting the term, considering the error that during the approximations. Now the objective for the today lecture is we will understand that is what is grid, what are the grid generation techniques, and then we will see that what are the recent developments in the grid generation. So grid generation or meshing is a very critical part within the CFD simulation process, as it not only dictates the simulation time but also the accuracy of the result of the study. So till now I have discussed that when we have a continuous space, that discretization techniques comes and we discretize our space in different finite size element, and that finite size element is are made up of nodes, and they are continuous at their boundaries. So when we are applying this discretization technique, and then for that small element we are writing the fundamental equations, and those fundamental equations result into the partial differential equation, and then from that partial differential equation we use the discretization methods to approximate the partial differential equation or terms into the finite size terms. Okay, so till now we have gone through that. Now the question is that when we are discretizing or we are dividing our finite or component or interest of a space into finite size, so what should be the size of the mesh? Okay, are you getting the point? Is that what should be the size of the mesh, what should be the aspect ratio of the meshes, because it controls the solution accuracy and as well as the time for the simulations. Okay, so the proper size of selection of mesh is very important. The first important is that what kind of the shape of the elements you are going to choose during the discretization, and then the second important point comes that what should be the sizes. Okay, so if generating a very coarse and poor quality mesh or grids, okay, often leads to a non-physical or highly inaccurate solutions, results through may be solved on a very powerful solver. The important power solver, as you know, that is the ANSYS Fluent. But suppose that we are solving the problem on ANSYS Fluent, that is a very good solver. But if we have not checked the size and aspect ratio of our mesh or grid, and we have started searching the solution for the problem, the simulation time will take too much, and even the solution that we will get, that will be totally worst. Okay, so what should be the proper grid size? It should not be more finer and not be should be more coarse. So what should be the proper aspect ratio that we have to keep to get the better solution and simulation time less? That is the important idea. Hence the grid generation skills, capability and its exposure are of equal importance as much that of the solver operations. So grid generation is a challenging operation during which the engineer has to maintain accurate mesh density as well as ensure that the mesh count is not impractically high. So when we are doing the meshing, we have to keep in mind that the size or the number or the count of the message should not be very high, impractically very high, and another point that this should not be very dense. Okay, so these idea we have to keep in our mind during the grid generation, because it is going to affect your solution in spite of what the solver you are using. So computational fluid dynamics is a method of solving governing equation using numerical methods like finite difference, finite element or finite value. The governing equation that are either in differential form or integral form are discretized and rewritten either at a point, that is node, an element or a control volume, that is a cell. Okay, as the equations are written and solved in discretized form, the domain or the geometry in which these equations will be solved also need to be discretized. So as to facilitate this, the solution of governing equation using numerical methods, we need to give following inputs to the solver. Okay, suppose that we are using any package like I'm talking about the Fluent. So these inputs requires when we are going to solve the problems. The first important is shape and size of the domain. Okay, this define the region in which the equation are solved. Okay, then discretize the domain as it will be given to the solver solving governing equation in discretized form. Identify the domain boundaries, as during solver setup we need to give appropriate boundary tagging, that is boundary condition, then writing mesh. As with all this information is then needs to be rewritten in the file or format understood by the selected solver. The uniqueness of boundary condition is decided by the shape, size, as well as value of known flow property on the boundary. Also, if the physics of the problem is same, then in the CFD analysis, same governing equation can be solved. So these points you have to keep in mind when we are giving the instruction to the solver to solve the problems. Now there are three steps in the CFD. One is the pre-processing, then solver, and last one is the post-processing. So pre-processing means in the pre-processing we are giving the input to the solver in the format in which the solver can understand. Then in the solver it solves the problem, and in the post-processing we are interpreting the result into the post-processing. Now we are seeing here in the pre-processing process in CFD. A typical CFD processing activity involves creating the shape and size of the domain, and this is generally supplied through, first one is the CAD data. We have a CAD model. This CAD model generally created using a CAD software or geometrical modeling tools available in commercial software like ANSYS, ICM, CFD. In ANSYS ICM-CFD, due to the limited modeling features available, it is usually used to create simple geometry, and either we have some other design software in which we design the model and import to our ICM-CFD. In case of complex geometry, a standard CAD software is used which can be create a complicated CAD model in short period of time, but this comes with its own limitation that may require CAD repair. The next step is dividing the domain into a smaller part or a smaller subdomain. This process is called as mesh generation, grid generation, or discretization. There are various methods of grid generation broadly divided into three main categories, namely structured multi-block meshing, Cartesian meshing, and unstructured meshing method. These are three methods that are frequently now in use. Once the typical grid is generated, the next step is define boundary tags and domain tags means boundary conditions. The boundary tags involves labeling the surface of the domain with labels like inlet, outlet, or a wall. The domain tags involving labeling in the volume with solid or fluid. All this information is then exported in correct file format that the CFD solver can understand. The summarize the overall processing activity involves geometry modeling, grid generation, boundary tagging, and grid explorer. So in the pre-processing, there occurs happens only four steps or four methods that we have to do. First is the modeling of the object. If the object is simple, we can model into the ICM CFD, and if it is complicated, we can model into the other CAD software and then import the file that is uh, in the same format as ICM CFD wants. Then we will do the model grid generation, and after the grid generation, we impose the boundary conditions, uh, and finally it comes to the grid export. So this is the pre-processing in CFD process. Now if you look, this is the grid generation steps. This was a, you can say, a solenoid, and then we have break into the small number of the element. So this is grid mesh domain of interest, and this is the shape of the cell any. So the first step involves dividing the surface or boundary of the domain into 2D elements like triangle or quadrilateral or any finite size shape that you want. Here the your element is not perfectly triangle, but here we can say this whole region is meshed into the quadrilateral element. Okay. The next step is dividing the volume into shapes like tetrahedral, hexahedral, or prism. Okay. It is not necessary to use only one type of cell for meshing entire control volume. Okay, suppose that this is your entire control volume, so this is not that we can only break into the only triangular element or your quadrilateral element. It's our choice. We can break our element into different elements. Okay, as in many cases, a mesh can include combination of all type of elements. To elaborate more on the definition of grid, you can see the figure. In this case, the domain of our interest is in which we want to solve the governing equation is the region between the two concentric circle. So this is the region in which we are interested to study the fluid phenomena, and this is inner circle, this one is the outer circle. Okay, and here we have meshed our elements. So here we can mesh the elements in any different variation of the elements because our region of interest is this, right? For creating the grid, we have selected the simple triangular shape for subdomain or a cell. I am talking reference to the figure that I have shown you there. After completion of grid generation process, the domain is filled with set of triangles. The generated grid should follow some governing law and some critical properties that we will see when we will solve the problem in ICM CFD. The first important property is that all the triangles should collectively fill the complete domain, and there should not be any unmeshed region in the domain of interest. So whatever is the domain of interest, all regions should be uniformly divided, and there should not be any uh, unmeshed region. The second property is that none of a triangle should intersect with each other. Here triangle is a small element, but I would like to say that on none of or any finite size element either in which we are dividing triangle, quadrilateral, hexahedral, octahedral, they should not cross the boundaries of each other. And all the elements should be connected to the neighbor at their vertices, and that vertices are known as the nodes. So these points we have to keep in mind when we are doing the grid generation. Now the important point is quality of a grid. Apart from these, to get a good quality solution, we should also look at other properties of the mesh. What are the properties of the mesh, quality of the mesh, and the important point is distribution of mesh node and its growth ratio and others properties like during the solution of governing equation, solver needs to do some mathematical calculation over every cell. Okay, that is your finite size element. This include calculation of properties like volume of first cell, surface area of a cell face, as well as normal face. This is possible only when solver implementation has a specific function for such mathematical calculations. So before selecting any cell type, one should always check the type of cells supported by intended CFD solver. Means you have to first verify or check that what the solver you are going to use, it supports that particular kind of mesh or not. ANSYS Fluent has property and it support for wide variety of shapes. It supports triangular or quadrilateral elements in 2D. Many times these are referred as tri and quad elements. So beside two important things, quality of mesh and distribution of mesh node and its growth ratio, the third important thing is that we have to check that our solver is supporting our grid or mesh that we have generated or no. So this is also the third point when we are using the software. Now this is the grid generation method. There are many grid generation method and advancement in various algorithm has enabled creation of high quality grid within a small amount of time. All the methods are broadly divided into three categories mainly. Here you can see the structure, Cartesian, structured, unstructured and hybrid. Cartesian break into quad tree, structured monoblock, multi-block goes to patched, overlapping, unstructured is triangular, quadrilateral, and hybrid goes to Cartesian structured triangulation. So the three categories are mainly Cartesian grid generation method, this is the first one. Then structured grid generation method, this is one, and here there are some other subdomain or sub-algorithm. Then third one is the unstructured grid generation method. Here there are two algorithms to generate the meshes. And the last one is the hybrid grid generation method, and it have three important algorithm. Nowadays this technique is more used and in more CFD solver is based over this hybrid grid generation technology. Okay, so this is all about the grid generation method, and in the coming lecture I will discuss for each and every grids their properties and the solver that to supporting these type of the grid. For the today it was just a brief overview of the grid generation technique and what the important point that one had to keep into the mind during the grid generation. Now let's summarize. Simulation is a broad subject area that is currently used to analyze or design product and process. So I was looking this lecture in terms of today's CFD simulation, in which it was the generation of the grid and the important techniques that I have told you, that is hybrid technique, hybrid Cartesian technique and related algorithm are nowadays mostly in use. So within simulation we can analyze different aspects like structural as well as thermal and fluid flow analysis, and in our CFD we will go with the fluid flow and thermal analysis. However, the basis for all simulation software and studies is the mesh that is called grid, because if the grid quality or grid size is not appropriate, the simulation time will be much and the result that we will get, that will not be very good, or we will get a totally worst result if we don't have a proper size of the grid and we have not generated the grid from a very sophisticated approach. Okay, so grid generation and the density of the grid is very important. Third important point is that our solver is supporting that grid structure or not. Now, in case if we look in the terms of CFD, ANSYS ICM CFD is a complete and standalone processing software. We can do CAD model generation, CAD repair, as well as mesh generation within ICM CFD when we are solving the CFD problems. If the problem is simple, the CAD model creation can be done into the CFD software ICM itself. But if it is not, then we use some another CAD software, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, or your CATIA, and we import the model from that to ICM CFD. These are the references through which you can go, and I will refer for this particular grid generation. You can follow this book, Computational Fluid Dynamics. Okay, or the grid generation technique, you can utilize this book for that particular chapter. Now, there are some important questions that you have to practice. That is, what is a grid generation in CFD? What is structured and unstructured grid? What is structured and unstructured mesh? What is hexahedral mesh? And all these important questions you have to try to find the solution for these, so that what I have discussed today, at least you can grasp that. So that's for today class. We have discussed about the grid generation techniques, a brief idea about that what are the grid generation technique, and we have seen that among all these four major areas, the hybrid Cartesian grid generation technique is frequently nowadays used. And then we have seen this important point, right, that if our grid generation or grid size, that is aspect ratio, is not proper, then since we are doing the subdivision, means we are discretizing our space into finite element, then in that case the simulation time will be very high and we will not get the proper result. And beside all this, keeping in mind that grid size is very important, that what should be, but the important thing, the solver that we are using, we have also checked that our solver is supporting that particular type of the grid or not, because if it is not supporting, then you will get the worst solution. So in the CFD field, the ANSYS ICM CFD, the solver that is used, and it supports many kind of the grid generation, and it is a very powerful tool. So in later classes I will solve some problem in the ICM CFD Fluent, okay, during the class. So for the today class, it was just an overview for the grid generation and the modern advancement in grid generation technique. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture till now.